On October 3rd, 1951, the New York Giants faced the Brooklyn Dodgers for the National League pennant. Bobby Thomson gave us the moment, the home run to beat the Dodgers, known only as the shot heard around the world.
For one 12-year-old fan, this day truly changed his life. Chris Connelly has this week's SC Featured, presented by Microsoft.
This is SC Featured. This is the power of sports.
The afternoon of October 3rd, 1951. Drama at the Polo Grounds in New York, with the Dodgers and Giants playing one epic game for the National League title. As fans around the area watched on TV, a 12-year-old in Jersey City saw that his father was holding a rosary, trying to pray his Giants to victory. Growing up in Jersey City in the late 40s and 50s, Ed Lucas lived for baseball. Watching Bobby Thomson's shot heard round the world with his father was the pinnacle of his life as a fan. Minutes later, it was still light outside, enough for Ed to play the game he loved.
So I grabbed my baseball glove, got a couple of guys together. We played in the skating ring, which was a blacktop. We painted bases.
In all the excitement, 12-year-old Ed would get to pitch. He took off his thick glasses and placed them in his back pocket.
I was a left-handed pitcher. And the throw ball and the line drive came back. And that was the last thing I ever saw.
Both retinas had detached. Nothing could be done. Ed Lucas was blind.
But I still wanted to do something in baseball. I loved the game.
Ed's mother wrote to major league teams and players on behalf of her despondent son, and they responded. One day, Ed was introduced to one of his heroes, Yankee shortstop Phil Rizzuto.
He came over and said, "Hey, I understand you're a big baseball fan." I said, "Yes." And he said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you something. This is my phone number. So you call the old scooter anytime you want to talk." He said, "I'll always be there for you."
The scooter was as good as his word. For 50 years, Rizzuto was Ed Lucas's mentor, friend, confidant, frequent chauffeur, and unflagging supporter.
You take the same picture all the time.
Okay.
You got to do a different one. I'll put the left hand. I got the right one.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. He made sure that I was going to do things and told me never listen to the naysayers. You do what you want to do.
What Ed wanted to do was interview the players. Rizzuto brought him to Yankee Stadium and got the ball rolling by being his first interview subject.
We have with us now, known to all baseball fans as a Scooter, Phil Rizzuto. How are you, Phil?
Eddie, it's good to see you. We talk to each other on the phone a lot, but I don't get to see you as much as I'd like to.
Well, the same here, Phil, and I'd like to talk to you about a few things.
With the help of his friend Scooter and a seeing eye dog named Kay, the doors opened for Ed to go to college and chase his dream of covering baseball. He would become a staple at Yankee games.
Good evening, baseball fans. We are very honored this evening to have with us the greatest ball player in baseball today and since 1951, Mickey Mantle. Now, we know that you hit over 500 home runs. Are there any goals left?
Well, I've always said that before I quit, I would like to hit 600 home
It's not
runs.
like a guy you see once or twice here or there, but Ed was there all the time, and it was year in, year out. You just see a commitment and a love for the game.
Just to be able to get the stories he gets, you know, guys always take the time to, you know, make sure they talk to him.
I remember him interviewing me and just knowing every little detail about my career. And I was like, things that I didn't even know. I was like, what? That is incredible.
Yet Ed says he had to face adversity from some fellow journalists.
I called it an Irish whisper. That they would stand around by the clubhouse where I was talking to some of the players and say, what's this blind guy doing? What's he know about the game? How can he talk about the game when he can't see it?
He'd be down the other end of the press box, and he's looking out on the field just like everybody else is looking out on the field. I'm watching this and I'm saying, this is unbelievable, because he can't see what's going on out there, but he gets it.
Ed would follow along on the radio with a guide adding details. Ball players noted that Ed seemed to have a few unearthly skills of his own.
Bobby Bonds one day, we're at batting practice. He said, listen, when the ball is hit, tell us where it's hit. Oh, I said, ground ball to short, fly ball to right, ground ball to first.
You got all those right?
Yes. The sound of the bat hitting the ball, something special to me.
The only way that he knows what happened is to hear it. So he's trying to paint this picture in his head of what he thinks is going on based off of a memory that he's had a long time ago. I mean, it'd be amazing to see what it is, but somehow he's been able to picture a beautiful story, an exciting game that's kept him coming back.
He began his career in baseball by talking to players he admired. Before long, they were the ones who were admiring him. As his son Chris learned when he met Mickey Mantle at age 8.
And I said, Mr. Mantle, oh, you're my hero and all that. And he was brushing me off. And I said, my dad is Ed Lucas. And he stopped in his tracks, came back to me, knelt down. I said, son, people tell me every day that I'm their hero. Your dad, he's my hero.
Every day that man wakes up and he faces the same challenges with no sight. And yet, he comes in the clubhouse, he's laughing. If he can do that and still maintain a smile on his face, then the problems that I'm gonna face, they can't be major.
This opening day at Yankee Stadium will be my 63rd consecutive home opener.
That would make it 63 home openers and one unforgettable moment when he and his bride Allison became the first couple ever to get married at home plate in Yankee Stadium. The two had been introduced thanks to Phil Rizzuto.
Phil Rizzuto asked my dad, what gets you through these dark moments? My father replied, it was his family, it was his faith, but baseball was the most powerful thing.
Well, Eddie Lucas, you've done a great job. You've come so far. I want to congratulate you on your advancement and
well, thank you very much.
Continued success.
Thank you.
How about Phil Rizzuto? My goodness.
So fantastic.
Through the Ed Lucas Foundation for the Blind, Ed and his wife, Allison, make a yearly donation to the Seeing Eye, a nonprofit that breeds and trains seeing eye dogs.
Yeah, and then in December of 2017, a chocolate lab puppy was born into that program. Ed and Allison were given the honor of choosing that puppy's name. Got any guesses? Scooter.
Love it. With Masters Week here,